In 4 days, we are going to get electrically all done, all house, all hooked up, ready to go, and air conditioning actually filled with Freon and ready to go as well in 4 days. Is it possible? We're gonna find out all in this video.
We're gonna say if it all goes well.
So let's do this. I'm gonna look down at the cart. Okay, there's the cart. And Jason and I are estimating just that little tiny cart full of crap, over $400, easy.
Well, I don't think we're gonna get there. I'm actually saying like 250, 300.
250, 300, let's find out when we go to the register. And I know Jason doesn't like to admit defeat. He was way off. In fairness, I was a little off myself because I think I said around 400, something like that. You said around 253.
I was thinking 350.
Yeah, well, this is van building 101 rule. You always double the price of what you think it's actually gonna be.
I know better than that too.
You do.
That's some big wire for you. I don't usually use 6-gauge wire this big of stuff, so there's a couple
Fair
things,
enough.
you know, that...
And I know this is tiny house building, but guys, I'm building it like a van. I don't know how many times I have to say that to everybody. The total amount just for the electrical in that cart plus the $8 screws that we got was with tax $511. Okay, 511, but with the without the tax it was $480, so $30 in tax. He's not used to tax being in Oregon. I was supposed to buy
those tools though.
It's all right.
I had counted on buying tools too.
Oh,
so,
okay. So you want to take off?
That's $50. It's still. Then you would have been right. Then you would have been right.
It's
so
still
either way.
Let's go to the shop and get some work done.
Let's go.
We're back at the shop here, and Jason has already started inside because he works like a maniac. He's mic'd up, so he'll be able to hear us right now. Why don't you say something?
Hey.
There you go. See, he's all mic'd up, everybody.
Maybe.
So we're good.
If it's working, then yes.
It's working.
There may be some loud noises shortly.
Yeah, well, it's all good. Glacier's here to help. Hey, Glacie. Glacie? Glacie?
She's doing a fantastic.
Glacie!
Fantastic.
Glacie! All right, we've got high hopes for us here in the tiny house for the next, I guess, 4 days or so. I'll give you guys a rundown of what we're doing. Look at it, he's all organized. Like, I didn't even do that, he did that. It's like that we've got a whole bunch of array of stuff. This is most of the stuff we bought at Home Depot. And he works like a maniac, like I talked about.
It's steady, nice and steady.
Going back to our high hopes on what we're gonna do here, what we're gonna accomplish. When I say we, it's gonna be 90% him, 5% me, and 5% Glacier. We're gonna get all that wired up in there. I don't know what we're gonna get done today, but this is day 1, I think, of 4. But we have hopes to have the entire house not just up and running with power. We're gonna have those batteries charged. By the way, huge shout out to ReLion because they actually provided these batteries for me. Today, day 1, I think we're just gonna try and get the 110 outlets all run and wired up. You're not gonna be able to have them running though. Like, I'm not gonna be able to plug something into them, right?
Not until the inverter turns on or we plug it into shore power. But if we get the shore power done without the DC side of things, we could still use, well, no matter what, we're gonna need to have DC. So
yeah,
we've got some things before we can turn it on, but.
Grow Watt inverter is a 6,000 watt inverter, and it's also a solar charge controller all in one. He also wants to help me. I've asked him, I've begged him to help me with the air conditioning because he's actually installed a cruising comfort before. So I still have to install the compressor and the condenser. Compressor is going to be mounted inside underneath all that electrical, and then the condenser is the fans. We had to mount that and put that underneath as well. Like, I wish I was able to like know the time he started, because it's only 1 o'clock right now. We got a late start today. Went to the depot, did a bunch of stuff.
We're ready to rock now. I got things.
He's got, what was that, 5 circuits already up and running?
Well, maybe not running, but I mean, we're getting there. So yeah, your washer and dryer, your bathroom circuit, the incinerating toilet, that's the rear kitchen outlet right there. Under the counter outlet for the Brava or whatever it is. There's your TV and this outlet here, the bench, it looks like. The passenger side, all the passenger side. So right now, this is gonna be our output, right? So essentially how this works is this is the grid in this application, right? So this is our grid. The grid is gonna come in and tie into the top side of this. So this is our input breaker.
Gotcha.
From there, there's 2 110 legs that inverter, because it's a 240 inverter, so it's gonna have 2 110 legs that come out.
Okay.
Through here. all of our grounds are gonna go over here, tie together. So we're gonna land all these, clean all that stuff up. After lunch, your mission is to give me that box for the 12 volt.
Yep, I can do something, guys.
And then I'm gonna start here with the two, all of our solar breakers and stuff are gonna live here. All the 12 volt breakers are gonna live here. The DC-DC 48 to 12 is gonna live here, which is gonna power up that block down there.
This is kind of like a really important point for me. This gets hot.
Yes, these are known to get hot. I mean, you can tell us by looking at it. If you looked at the size next to a solar controller, they're much bigger. The 1212 runs at 140 degrees, and it always will run at 140 degrees. So people who mount them like this is big no-no.
On a floor?
Yeah, if you mount it like this, big no-no already. Like
really?
First page of the install manual, it says it needs to be vertical, and it says it needs to have at least, I believe it's 60 mil of clearance from the top.
60 millimeters?
From here. You cannot put it here because the air cannot escape from the heat sinks. So imagine the air is coming through here, passing over the top.
Yeah.
You trap it like this, it's got nowhere to go. It literally just sits there and overheats, and it'll be way less efficient.
So as soon, like the very first thing we came in here yesterday, guys, and we actually started laying stuff out. The first thing you said to me is like, Jared, you need to put that up against that back wall right there.
And the other thing is the inverter will actually be pulling air from the bottom, pushing out the top right into the DC-DC. So if we put an intake at the bottom, exhaust at the top, it will naturally take the heat and evac it.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know.
Of course, hey, Glacier's here. She's back to help.
She's always here. She's either in the way or helping. We haven't really decided yet, but I think she's helping. I am running this tiny house off-grid completely, 100%. This will be a self-sustained tiny house. Like Jason just said, the incinerator toilet, eventually, I don't know when, but I'll have an incinerator toilet. I have a washer dryer in here that'll all be, you know, be able to power off-grid. Air conditioning, heating, 3,200 watts of solar or 3.2 kilowatt of solar on the roof that'll be able to charge all of that.
A lot. That's a lot. That's awesome.
30 kilowatts of batteries. And he has high hopes of getting all of this done in this video in 3 days. I am like, holy crap, if you can get that done in 3 days, wow, we're gonna party hard on the 4th day.
It's gonna be long days, but I want to see Boston.
He wants to see a little bit of Boston. I want to take him out. I am running this as a large-scale van or a bus for that matter. It is going to be a lot of 12-volt power or 48-volt power. I now have enough power, 30 kilowatt hours of power, that I can able to run everything in here, even if I have to have that inverter on. That inverter running is about 70 watts of power per hour. Or what is that, 7 amps, give or take?
Well, it's gonna be a little less than that.
Maybe 6 amps, whatever. The beautiful thing about it is in the wintertime, especially in Maine, which is where I'm putting this house, if I have a few cloudy days and my inverter can't run and I can't have power, yes, I could use a generator to power back up, but at overnight or something like that, if I don't have enough power to, like, you know, make a meal or something like that, then I can shut my inverter down and I can still run the rest of the house. The lights are still 12 volt. The refrigerator is still 12 volt power.
Oh, that's a nice fridge too.
It is a nice fridge. Thanks,
that's
buddy.
a nice fridge.
My heat is going to be 12 volt. So the things that I wanted 12 volt are going to be 12 volt, are going to be important to me. I still will be able to live comfortably with using low voltage instead of having to use grid power or inverter power, I should say. Step on into the tiny house. Let's see what he's been up to the last couple hours. You've been at this for now about 4 hours?
Well, 11, and then we ran some errands, and then we ran back to Home Depot again because, well, it's a project. And guess what? We're going back to Home Depot again because we forgot one
We are
thing.
going back to Home Depot because we forgot. It's 3 things, but it's the same 3 things.
Yeah.
I'm going to blend the Jason on that one.
That was me.
He has got this going down so far. Jay, if you want to pop in here and kind of explain what's going down.
Yeah.
I started making the box for down here. That's gonna house the DC, but I didn't really do much else. Nice and neat. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the rat's nest of wires that I had in here, but it's all nice and clean now. And that's all the DC wire or marine wire, which is gonna be nice and tucked in behind over there later on by the end of today, I think, right?
Yeah, that's essentially when you get this box up for me, I'll
Yep.
be able to wire all that stuff and shove that box in its home. So I've got these are the inverter drops, they're headed down. So we need my crimper, which UPS should have it. UPS
should have brought that.
if you're watching, UPS should have it. Should have been here yesterday. So we're gonna separate that This will run down, those will run down the wall. This is your DC-DC. So this is taking your 48 volts and converting it to 12. And everything runs through a breaker. So these are the batteries. They're going to be running through here and then out. And they'll be running through a breaker.
So these are all breakers in here?
These are all going to be breakers, yeah. So you'll have battery 1, battery 2, DC in, DC out. So 48 in, 12 out. The panels. And we're also going to have the fuse block will have its own.
Is that enough room for this to breathe?
That's enough room for that to breathe, and especially with this blowing at it and all the airspace that we're going to have underneath of it. Should be good there.
I wish people would understand how much work is entailed with this, because this is a lot.
It's a lot of work, and I was thinking about that, like, this is out of my element because it's not like what I do. I repeat a lot of systems over and over again.
Yeah.
But being able to think outside the box and actually how much room you gave us kind of makes this a unique and fun situation for me. I actually like working with Romex because you can bend it around and it stays, and you can keep it all pretty like that.
I actually want you to send me some footage of some of your boxes that you've made in the past so I can throw them up in this video, because that's what people can maybe understand your context of what you mean by, like, I just make these repeatable boxes.
Yeah.
You do 2 battery, 3 battery, and 4 battery systems per se.
Up to 8.
Up to 8?
Up to 8.
Up to 8 batteries, all 12 volt. Welcome to day 2, everybody. We are at West Marine because we are getting wire. Miles from Light Harvest Solar did send me some wire, but Jason needs a little bit more. I miscalculated the amount of wire run that I need to do, and Miles only sent me so much. So Jason is over here.
Dude, check this out.
Getting some more wire. What's up?
$5.99, 6.2 for the AC. So it's a 1 wire run, half the price, red black already inside of it.
You want to do that?
Absolutely.
I've already dropped this solid 600, and I feel like I'm about to drop probably another $100, $150 in wire. But you know what? This is my house. I want to have it done right. I'm going to be living full time out of it. People are looking at me like I'm crazy because I'm holding a damn camera while I'm in West Marine. So I'm going to go. We're back at the tiny house. I did spend another, what was it, $250?
Almost $300. Yeah.
Was it almost 300? So almost $300 on more wire. What we needed that wire for, or what Jason needed that wire for, was so we could actually link up the batteries right now, so we can get the batteries all connected through the proper breakers that they need to go through. I think they're 100 amp breakers, aren't they?
100 on the 48, yeah.
Yeah. So once he gets those hooked up and he brings them over to the batteries themselves, now he can hook up the inverter, and then he can actually isolate the batteries to charge them up to full capacity if they need charging. We don't know until we turn everything on and we plug the inverter into shore power. So he's got to hook up the shore power to inverter, or he's got to hook up shore power to the inverter, and then he's going to have the batteries done here in a minute, and then we can check the battery levels, and then we can charge them up, and then we can get. He's already done all the circuits for 110 and the DC circuit, so those are all done. What I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be going around the house and start installing all of these. Day 2 has been one hell of a day. We're on our way to hopefully not West Marine again, because that's a really long trek. Hopefully Ace Hardware has what we're looking for, which are lugs. Get in my pocket here. This little thing right here. That's it. Hello.
That's it.
That's it.
Well.
Oh, and a bolt.
4 of them. A nut.
A nut, excuse me, a nut. Not like this nut over here. Dad jokes. I don't know. I'm gonna put this down. We're gonna talk to the camera here for a second. We don't have the big fancy camera. We just are using the GoPro, guys. Sorry. This is a moment of truth here. Jason is going to flick on the power here in a minute. So we're doing this live. We have not tested it yet. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we're gonna figure it out. I don't know. Jason's very confident in his work. What do you think?
Flip that baby down to invert. Oh, so first thing, turn that off.
Yep, that's off.
Here goes.
Batteries. Batteries need to go on?
Yeah.
Yep. We got lights.
So let that thing spool up.
Oh, shizzle.
Okay, so now first, I guess next order of business would be just go right up to it, I guess, right?
Are they? Oh, do you have breakers on the outlets on or off?
Go ahead and flip one on.
Which one? Do you know?
Main, top one. And then let me look at my little picture I took for you, right?
Man's on, yeah. We just got to hit the flick on the back end and see what happens.
Okay, so that's good.
Inverter,
Yep,
yeah.
that's the inverter and the fan, so that's good. So next order of business, right? We're gonna kick on DC in, right?
That should light up, I think, right? Yep, we got all this right here.
So let's
Look at that.
Well,
The two that we don't have any fuses in are lit up. We've got power.
okay, that one's in. Next one
Lights,
was
there you go.
ceiling lights.
Yeah, the only other light that's off.
Okay, so what
You
number
know-
was it? Let me look at the thing.
Number 2, it's right
Number
there.
2. Oh yeah, it's lit up.
We're gonna actually do this right. Alright. Here we go. Oh! Ceiling lights. We're up and running. 100%
Nice.
off grid. Here we go.
End of day 2. We're up and running.
End of day 2. We're gonna cut this right here. We'll check back with you because we're exhausted. I'll be
Dinner
right back.
time.
I'll be right back. I just needed like a moment to like just relish in what Jason has accomplished here in less than 2 days. We are going to get dinner. It's not even, it's like 9:15 right now.
Right now, 9 and some change, yep.
So Jason and I are gonna go get a much needed whiskey drink right now, or beer, or whatever it may be. Definitely have some good food, and then we got the AC tomorrow. So no rest for the weary. Is that the phrase?
That's the phrase, man. And I want to see that AC work. So.
I want to see the AC up and running, guys. We got the ceiling lights up and running. We got both batteries on right now. Jason just took a voltmeter to the output of that, and it's reading it like 51 volts. Day 3 is going to be an amazing day. I do want to say this. First of all, thank you to this man right here. Obviously, go check him out at Off Grid Solutions PDX. You can go to offgridsolutionspdx.com, and you can also go to his Instagram, Off Grid Solutions PDX. When that runs, the fans obviously run, and it can get a little noisy, right? You guys may have heard that in the video earlier. So the reason I ran most of my things in this house off of 12 volt power is because I knew it was going to do that. I think day 3 is going to be a big day, so let's get after it. Off to go drinking. Bye.
Good night.
You know, it's only fair to show you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. Some small, minor hiccups, but I think we're good to make everybody's day feel better. We got a shot of that right there. Hi, Glacier. Hi, sweetie. Okay. Jason's down on the ground right now. We got here this morning. I should say this morning. It was late morning because we were exhausted and we got a late start. So, and we went to plug in the whole system. The whole system's done. It's all ready to go. We are pumped. We went to go plug in the shore power to charge up the batteries. Nothing was happening. What did you think the issue was?
Well, there's 2 hot inputs, and
Yeah.
I don't know which one is dedicated off that 50 amp plug to 1 and 2. Once you neck it down to 110, so I switched essentially the 2 legs coming in, and we're about to fire it up and see if that works, so that way it will charge off of a 15 amp plug, because obviously we set it up for a 50 amp plug.
Oh, is that what it was?
So that's why you have that adapter that goes back down to a 15 amp plug, but I don't know which one on that plug once it drops down to 110.
Show you guys what I'm working with here. That loud beep in there is just the inverter. All right, Jay, you ready? I got green light. No dice. All right, guys. First hiccup. Let's go find out. Let's try to. I already sent Grow One an email. They have no contact number, so that's awesome. We'll update everybody as soon as we know. All right, we got good news and we got bad news. The good news is that we figured out the issue, the problem. Jason figured it out. The bad news is we can't charge the batteries, but that's okay. Not yet, at least. Jason looked in the manual a little bit more and realized that we pretty much need a 220 outlet to charge these batteries, because a 120 outlet, it only brings in 120 volts.
It's just what the inverter needs at least 158 to 270 in that range.
Yep.
So if we don't have that on the two legs, it's not going to it's not going to turn on.
So I have that with the solar panels that I have. I'm in that window of charging. However, for shore power, I don't have that because in my shop I don't have any 220 volt running in my shop. I'm gonna have to order a 48 volt trickle charger.
Some sort of a small charger just to plug in the 110 and charge the batteries for now. You know? Just
to charge the batteries one at a time. It is what it is. We're up and running with power right now. And I think we are gonna actually, we started the AC and we're gonna get that installed today. But we got the Brava, which is my oven and my cooking apparatus. We're gonna actually cook up some pizzas later for lunch. And we are going to run that completely off of the house power. I also wanted to test the Brava to make sure it can run properly because it's had some issues with another company called Victron. Can we show them the what we got AC going on? So that AC right down there is the compressor. I got the tubes running up the wall and into the evaporator. The evaporator is already hooked up, ready to go because I did that. Your boy actually did something. We got toys everywhere, Glacier.
Toys everywhere. Here.
So this is the condenser fan. Now, if you are familiar with any type of mini split systems, like a lot of tiny homes have a traditional mini split system, whether it's, you know, who makes them? Mitsubishi Electric, Pioneer, Mr. Cool. There's a whole bunch of them. And a lot of tiny houses actually put them either right here on the front, like on the tongue, and they'll have like this big, you know, like a dual fan, right? And that's the condenser. That is the cruise and comfort condenser, right? Condenser fans.
And underneath
and it is an undermount. So the reason I'm doing that is because this is a low voltage or 48 volt system. All right, so we are taking a lunch break. Went to the store to grab some pizzas. We figured this is a good opportunity to try out the system that Jason has all put together for everyone. We are going to, first off, we're going to search for pizza. Now, this is a Brava. This is going to be my full-time cooking apparatus. Frozen pizza, because that's what it is. Personal, 5.
Stop it.
I've already cooked frozen pizza on this thing before, outside in my shop, so I've already have it preset to exactly where I think I needed it. So I'll cook Jason's for him first, because, you know, deservingly so.
Or we could just split them, they're the same, you know?
They are the same. So this, like I was saying, this is my full-time cooking apparatus because I can cook everything on this thing. We are plugged into the wall right there, as you guys can see. We got the inverter going. It's going to kick on. You're going to hear the fans running on the inverter as soon as I'm done with these presets. And boom. You hit that green light. If you guys heard that noise, but
so this
that definitely kicked on.
Depending on load, you can come feel this.
Got a good fan going?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just from that thing sitting there kind of being on, it's been generating that much heat too.
Yeah.
Because anything that's on, remember I was telling you this thing too, same thing.
Yeah.
Just kind of sitting here getting warm.
Let's find out here. We're trying it. We're going to see if it actually works. I know the Brava because my buddy Mark over at Nomadic Customs uses the Brava quite often in some of his builds because it's, as you can see, the size of it is great. Now, with a certain inverter company, Victron, they're, like we were saying earlier, their pure sine, it can be a little wonky, and the Keurig as well as the Brava has like a buzz sound to it, so they haven't been using it. Yeah, it gives you a little
hilarious.
And you know, so I wanted to make sure that the Hertz was running properly, the pure sineness of it all. We're definitely testing it like fully. Like this is, because this thing is pulling about 1800 watts right now, maybe a little bit less.
I should be able to actually see 32 amps.
32 amps, which is I don't know what wattage that is.
We're 48 volts, right?
Yeah. Jason's doing some quick math for everybody.
1500 watts.
15? So 1500 watts right now.
1536.
15, little over 1500 watts right now. I've got a 30 kilowatt hour battery or 30,000 watt hour battery. Obviously I can cook a lot of meals with no sun. I get regenerative power from my solar panels eventually when those go on, but 6,000 watt inverter. Technically I could run this and vacuum if I wanted to.
Yeah. Oh wow, we smell pizza already.
Of course you do, it's cooking.
Yeah. Well, it's fast. I'm impressed.
What I like about the Brava, a lot actually, is I can cook a 3-course meal in one tray because I can, it's zone cooking.
Wow. So, for example though, look, if we were cooking in a regular oven, 16 to 19 minutes, so it doesn't half the time.
Half the time. It's infrared cooking. I highly recommend Brava. And I even think that they're gonna be giving me an affiliate link, so I'll try and put that in the link below.
Yeah, we need one at the shop.
All right, Jason and I are putting the air conditioner in. We're putting the compressor.
The compressor goes there.
And the condenser fans are down below.
Yep.
We just drilled a 2 1/8 inch hole that goes all the way through 2 subfloors and a 6 inches of foam. Now, put in perspective how deep this really is. And for all you haters out there that they're like, hey, you know, your floor is gonna get cold or whatever. First of all, I get heated floors. But second off, I got 6 inches of spray foam underneath us, underneath the 2 subfloors.
It's a lot. It was more than I thought.
It's deep, right? Yes, there's going to be cold air that goes underneath it, but I can guarantee you the way to go is Trailer Made Trailers, which is who made this trailer. Look at how deep this is. Now I've got an extension bit in my hand. I don't know what this is, about a foot, 12 inch. I'm going to put it not all the way because it'll just drop through the bottom, but you guys will see. Right. All right, so I am the edge, the bottom edge of that is hitting the bottom of the trailer right now. And my fingers, where these 2 fingers are, is the top. Look at that. That is how deep that is.
So it worked though, right? Like we got through it.
That is crazy, dude. No, it worked great. I'm just saying. For everybody out there that's like, oh, you know, you don't have enough insulation. Okay, no, I got spray foam in this thing. That's an R41 or R40. If you're gonna do a tiny house, make sure that you have a cavity that you can put in insulation in your floor because that is super important. Back to the AC install. We are definitely feeling a little loopy.
What wire is this?
There is no reason why anybody should try and do what we have done in 3 days. No way. Another 10-hour day, 11-hour day. I don't know. We did, I think, 11 or 12 the first day. I think we did 11 or 12 the second day. And we're doing 11 or 12 the third day. But we're coming to the end.
Look at this.
This is the air conditioner.
We're about ready to fire this thing up here in a minute. We gotta back it down.
We gotta vacuum it.
Yeah, and let it sit. But
so we're doing it right, where we're actually gonna vacuum the lines to let them sit overnight to make sure there's no leaks in any of the hoses or anything. Let's just pray that there's no freaking leaks.
there's no leaks. We've been checking every one. There's an O-ring on every one. We've been getting...
Well, the only leak I'm worried about is if like I somehow screwed up one of the lines in the walls, and that's the only leak I'm worried about. Nobody should do this in 3 days, but it's possible. But it's possible. Look at this. Even Glacier is freaking wiped. Look at that. She is just in the chair, just wiped. All right, the time has come. We have not tried this yet because look, the gauges are all reading 0 and we haven't tried it. So this is a vacuum test. That goes into that end piece right there?
Yep. Okay.
Is that where Freon goes in?
So there's a high side and a low side, and it runs kind of through it, but it charges it through the low side generally. So we're gonna let that rip for a while and see where it goes, and then tomorrow when we go to fill it, we'll again put it under vacuum, and then this yellow cord will be hooked to the Freon itself.
So this thing is actually pretty essential to fill it up with Freon.
This is the only way you're gonna do it correctly to get all the, you can't have air in the system, right? So we need to take all the air out before we put the Freon into it.
Okay.
Right? So that's what we're doing right now. We're also making sure that all of our connections are tight. We've got everything hooked up. Let's see, these are closed. We're just gonna go ahead and open these now and open that one down there. So we got the two down below closed. And I'm only gonna suck it through one side. So I've got both of them closed, but I'm only gonna suck it probably through the low side, but I'll open and close this side as well.
Oh, let's hope for the best.
Oh, let's hope I figure out how to turn this thing.
I might hear a hissing. Glacier needs to inspect.
Okay.
Watch out, Joe. Sorry.
She's inspecting. So see how we're pulling it down the red?
Pulling down the red.
So we started over here, so this is like HD, so we're pulling it down, 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 down. So like I said, we're gonna get it somewhere around 30. And then find it, is that about 30?
Yeah. Beyond that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's beyond 30.
Okay. And then we'll just close it. And then we'll watch our gauge.
Now, technically, you're saying if it's all sealed up properly, that one should not move at all.
Yeah, the only place I guess that I would be worried about that we could probably change would be to close these and disconnect them and leave that kind of charged. But assuming these fittings are tight, which I mean,
We would know pretty quickly if they weren't.
yeah. So
because of the run.
So now we're just gonna, yeah, it's holding. So right now the whole system is under vacuum.
Yep.
All the way from up there through.
Wow,
here.
that did not take very long at all.
No, and then this whole chamber is also under vacuum. So
We're gonna let this sit overnight because that's what is not required, but it's what's recommended. But it seems like this is a wrap, guys. Glacier is excited.
we ready for dinner?
I think we're ready for steak dinner.
Steak dinner.
Steak dinner.
Yeah, I know Glacier's ready for steak dinner.
Steak dinner, steak dinner. Now, did you guys really think that we were going to actually start having fun without filling up the air conditioner with some Freon and kicking that thing on to actually complete our job? Absolutely not. Day 4 was just cleaning up shop and putting some Freon in. So pretty much we did everything that we needed to do in 4 days, or 3 days, I should say, right?
Yeah,
Jay?
I mean you gotta let it sit, but we did our test, so I'm happy. I'm gonna fill this thing with some.
So you guys can, I wonder if I can feel that air coming out of there. I can't. Ugh. But that is my air conditioning working. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna fill up the rest of this and we're gonna be on our way. I'm excited.
After 2 steps, I lost my balance. And you know, that's when the colors started to change.